just God, Joseph, and Jesus. But she got into deep depression. And if you really study it a little bit, read a little bit, think about it a little bit, and think about friends like us, like Robbie, then you realize that you can detect it when it's starting, and you can see it progress. And when you see it starting to progress, it's not just a simple thing of I lost my girlfriend or whatever. Not what it was. And you can tell. And so nobody owes any guilt in my view. Donna doesn't feel that way so much with her ex-husband, but she forgives him, but she don't like him. And so I wasn't going to say much, but what I said, I'm in. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Gary. Anyone else?
I don't know if I'm going to talk too loud or not. Hi, Robin. I'm Tiffany. I was Robin and Megan's neighbor, and God, it's really hard to look at everybody up here. I don't like it. I met them in about August of 2020. I had moved in a month prior, and when I met Robin, the first thing I heard from her was that her oldest son had passed away. And she told me about Megan, and that really hit hard for me because I've also lost my oldest brother. So I instantly felt this connection with Megan. I really wanted to just, be there for her, do things with her, just be her friend. So I forced her to hang out with me by hiring her to be my assistant. I'm a photographer, and I had many sessions going like crazy over the little pond by us, and it was 2 days of fun. Megan was amazing to work with. In one of the sessions, a bunch of ducks got in the way, and I'm like, Megan, you gotta go get them out of the way, because these are 15-minute slots, so we're moving fast. And you can tell that like she's like, I'm gonna do it, but she's so timid with them because she doesn't want to be mean to them. And I'm like crouched down with my camera like, dang it, hurry up, Megan, but I can't say that. So it worked out. It was fine, but it was funny to see like her love of animals. I didn't even really know. But it went so deep. She didn't even want to like rudely usher them away out of the way of the session. It was really amazing. Ever since I met Megan, I felt a really special bond with her. I've only known her for about 1.5 years, and she was always just that special person to me. I thought about her a lot. I would try and message her to hang out, but I guess I was just not quite as cool as I thought I was. That's okay though. She watched my son though. She was actually incredibly good with children. Every time I saw her with kids, I was like, you're gonna be a way better mom than I am. So no, she was an amazing person. And after I lost my brother, I kind of obsessively read this poem. And ever since Megan has passed, I've found myself looking at it a lot more. So I wanted to read it here, and that's what I'll end with. Death is nothing at all. It does not count. I have only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are you. And the old life we lived so fondly together is untouched, unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we still are. Call me by that old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way which you always used to. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of Solomon, I can't say that word, I'm sorry, y'all, or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me. Pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without an effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you for an interval somewhere very near. Just around the corner, all is well. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Tiffany, very nice. All right, anyone else?
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm trying to keep it brief. I can barely keep it together right now, but a couple of years ago, 2018, I was on Xbox and I started up a game, and never did I ever think that I would meet one of the best friends I ever had in my life. In 2020, Megan lost her brother, and she told me that she needed someone. So I booked my flight, and I was here as soon as I could possibly be, and it was one of the greatest weeks I ever had in my life. This girl was my rock. Anytime I had a problem, she was there for me, whether she was working, whether she had a problem herself, she was there for me, and I miss her so much. She was such an amazing person, such a sweet soul, such a genuine heart that she had, and I love that girl so much, like she was my own sister, and that's all I have to say.
Tell them where you're from.
I flew down from New York.
New York, that's up there.
That's way up there.
Welcome to Texas. Thank you. Very nice, Amber. Anyone else? Going once? Please, sir.
How y'all doing? I'm Trav. I was Megan's friend, and honestly, I didn't really expect to come up here and say anything. Like, I didn't plan on it. I'm gonna just go up the top. But man, I feel like when I first met Megan, I feel like I'm the type of person that I can just see somebody and tell what type of vibe they're on. If I'm gonna want to come around or let them come around or whatever. And I can for sure say when I first met Megan that she for sure gave the vibe she was just a good person. She looked out for people, and she was just a good person, you know what I mean? And I hate to get religious with stuff, but the religion I believe, I don't know how religious Megan was, but I feel if you're a good person and you're putting good intentions into the world and you put good vibes in the world, you're not gonna get sent somewhere where you don't deserve to be. And I really feel this isn't oh, we're never gonna see Megan again. This is we're gonna see you later. You know what I mean? So this ain't oh goodbye Megan. We're never seeing you again. We gonna all see Megan again one day, and it might be a while, but it's for sure gonna be we're all it's gonna be we gonna see her again for sure. And I remember when I first met Megan, I'm pretty sure at Womb, I seen Miss Robin there, and I waved at her trying to be polite. She waved back, and I really like that because sometimes older people just don't be waving back, you know what I mean? They just won't wave back at you, and it's all right, you know? But, nah, Megan was for sure a good person, and it's really sad, coming to stuff like this, especially when it's, someone so young, when it's, an old person, it's okay, you know, you're old. But when it's, a young person, she was 2 years younger than I am. She's 22, she didn't get to, do, a lot of stuff that she was supposed to do, and, she seemed really smart, had a lot of potential, but I just wanted to keep it brief and simple. We're all going to see Megan again one day. This isn't goodbye. This is I'll see you later. Amen. She's up there with her. I didn't even know that she had a brother that passed away. If you think about it, she's up there with him right now, probably politicking, talking, doing all that, whatever they did. But appreciate y'all letting me talk.
Thank you.
This old man, get this microphone. Time's coming, Sparky. It goes fast, let me tell you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Thanks for teenagers, and we got teenagers in 8 days. Yeah, it happens. Okay. Anyone else? Going once? Twice?
I'll say something. All right. So
one of Mitch's best friends, basically like a brother to me. Sucked having to talk at his funeral way back when, August 3rd, 2020, I believe, was the day. Remember the phone call, 3 a.m. So that was hard, but I wanted to kind of speak about the family I got to know. I met Mitchell in like 4th or 5th grade playing football. He was awful at football, not an athlete, so he stuck to video games and cars. We grew apart, for a brief interval because I was dedicated to sports, and then we got right back together. And because we both love video games, we both love fast cars. And I think in the beginning, Mitch and Megan had a typical brother-sister relationship of, go away, I don't want to talk to you. She was so nice, she always wanted to roll with the boys, no matter where we were at. She wanted to be in the car while we were doing really illegal stuff. In a Toyota Camry or in my Mustang or whatever it was. And she just always wanted to be there. She always wanted to be around. She always wanted to learn from us. She wanted to, she was just really nice. And she loved horses. My stepmom started a little religious, Christian-based ministry with horses. And her and Mitch and Alex were out there all the time helping us with that, and that's awesome. We have good memories with that. One of the biggest things that I briefly touched on in the last time I spoke was how much they contributed to who I was as a person. I was very privileged growing up, and they were not. I started off with my mom, who's a single mom, so we related. And then I went to my dad, who's a very, privileged individual. And it was so funny when I'd come over, and Megan knew how to cook, and she was like 10. And I had no idea what to do. I could barely make a sandwich. And they taught me about being humble and how you don't have to be what people want you to be. You can be yourself, and you can, you'll grow, and you can be happy. It doesn't matter what type of house you're in. It doesn't matter if you have the best TV or the best car. You can still just be a good person, and good things will happen to you. And I don't know, I love Megan. She was like a sister. Me and her tried to stay in touch as much as possible after Mitch passed. I never, I don't think anybody's over it that was close to Mitch, because definitely didn't deserve that, and I regret not being there for him more. But she would reach out to me and my wife, kind of just asking for guidance or for somebody to be there just to talk about Mitch, her brother. And it was so hard trying to console somebody when you could barely admit that you still needed to be consoled by somebody yourself. And I don't know, she's just a great person. I was more of just a friend's brother for many years, kicking her out of our room, and dreading taking her along. But over the years, you spoke about Xbox. She was actually like a really good gamer for a girl in certain games. Most girls are not very good at video games, period. And I'll never forget, she got really into it because me and Mitch played this game called Rainbow Six, and I logged on one day and she was better than I was, and I had no idea what had happened. For a girl, exactly. It didn't last long, but I remember she was getting tired of all of us men talking crap to her about being a girl playing video games, and she killed me in the game and then still won the round by herself, and just to prove that she could do it. And she was just a kind person, good soul. And I probably have 20 more stories, but we don't got that type of time. So that's all I have to say, but thank you all for coming. It would mean a lot to me.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something about this kid here. Okay, to be brief. He was Mitchell's best friend, and he'd come over to Mitchell's house, and they'd get in his room, and they'd sitting there talking, playing a game or talking or something. I was always busted into Mitchell's room to give him a hug. And I would give him a hug. Nanas just do that. But beautiful person, and I just think the world of him, I really do. And their first baby, give it the name of the first baby.
We named him after Mitch. It's Levi Mitchell. But yeah, just a great family, and we'll be there for you, Robin, if you ever need us.
Nana, stop right there. Give him a hug.
I love you, Austin.
Austin, those hugs are farther and fewer, so enjoy while you get them, I'm telling you. Anybody else?
Well, I've known Robin since I was 15. We met at Driver's Ed, of all places. She was from Dickinson, I was from Clear Lake, so we go way back. I'm not good at doing this, I don't like public speaking at all, so. About Megan. Megan was Robin's mini-me. They were the spitting image of each other. From smiles, to stupid jokes, to silly songs, to the goofiness in the car. And what I remember most with Megan was her old soul, so to speak. And that was, Robin brought that out in her with all the music. So she knew so much music, and she would sing along to all these songs that a lot of other kids just had no clue, or they thought were the stupidest songs ever. So that was us. But one of my favorite funny stories of her, and it's a little X-rated in a way, it was about her bunnies. So Megan she's an FFA, and she was going to raise bunnies for FFA. Well, she had to have a male and a female bunny, and they had to mate, and they had to have babies. And so they would check these bunnies out every day, and Robin would call me, oh my God, we're not gonna have babies, and whatever, the bunnies aren't gonna do what they're gonna do. And so finally, these bunnies, I guess, did their mating, and I get this call from Robin because Megan was hysterical because apparently one of the bunnies passes out, and Megan thought the bunny was dead. And that's her whole thing with, as far as animals, she loved every single animal. I mean, any creature, like you said. She didn't want to step on anything on the ground. She wanted to, like, save it. And she just, when she was happy, she just lit up the room. And you could just see it in her smile, like you said, every day. And she cared a lot about people. Even people didn't realize how much she cared, but she did. She might not have showed it to everybody, but deep down inside, that's who she was. And she was always worried about everybody else. And even in her passing right now, before she passed, I know she was worried about everybody else. And she was not thinking of herself, but she was trying to think of everybody else. And I've grown up with the whole family. I've been to sleepovers. From when we were kids, to going to the beach house with all the kids and the grandparents. And they're just a really sweet family. And Robin had to do it all alone. And I give her such credit for doing the best she could, being the single mom that she was and not getting the support that she needed, and just trying to make it through, And so I miss Mitch every day, I miss her, and I know my kids definitely miss them. They were all very close, grew up together and played together. And I can see both of them up there right now telling all of us, what are you doing? I just can. And I know that Megan's gonna enjoy this crawfish as much as we are, because that's probably what she's doing right now. So I just wanna say I love you guys, and I'm there for you, okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Once? Twice? All right, 3 times. There are some people that couldn't be here, so they sent videos of the stories y'all have just told. So we're going to show those and see what you think.
wanted to make this short video to say a few words about Megan. She was part of my life for 13 years, and I just loved her as my own daughter. She was a lot of fun to be around. She loved to be in the kitchen with me when I would make dinner or breakfast. She'd be right there next to me wanting to cook. And she used to make the best muffins. And she would just sit in front of the oven and watch them rise. It was so funny. She'd just sit there for like 15 minutes, just watch the muffin rise, take them out, and of course she loved to eat them too. She was a big eater. She really enjoyed food, for sure. She was so much fun to be around, always happy and laughing so hard. And of course, she used to ride my horse Bolero. Some of you might know him. Robin probably seen pictures of her riding Bolero, but that was a pretty big horse. He was a stallion, and she had no fear. She'd get right on him, put those big reins in her little hands, and she'd just get on him and just go, and she would just giggle while she was riding him. And of course, I was right there next to her. But she would ride any horses. She had no fear. She'd get on them and just go. She truly enjoyed riding horses, and she just enjoyed to be around all kind of animals. She loved horses, dogs, you name it. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She just was such a happy little girl. What else can I tell you? I mean, she was 13 years old when I lost sight of her, and it really is devastating that she's gone. I just don't understand it, but I will always remember the good time. I will always cherish the moments that we had together, and it's very sad that she's gone, but I will never forget her. And I really, really loved her like she was my own daughter. And she was just a beautiful soul. You know, have a good day. Make the best of it. God bless you. And God bless Megan.
My name is Cameron West, and me and Megan were very good friends. And I'm going to miss her a lot. There were nights that we would sit on the phone and just talk about anything and everything. And if we couldn't even think of anything, we were still just sitting in silence. And even the silence with Megan was just, it was great. Me and Megan had been friends forever. It was 5, 6 freshman years. Freshman year was 6 years ago. So we were friends for about 6 years. Me and her would just talk about anything under the sun. Talk about her cat, how Texas is, about her horse before he passed away. She was a very bright light in a very dark room. No matter what the situation was, Megan always tended to make it better, and she was very good at doing that. Megan was a fantastic woman, and it was amazing as a friend, and I'm sure as a family member, to see how she had grown as a woman. She's very strong. She's a very strong woman. I'm gonna miss her. Sorry.
Megan, we love you, and we will miss you so much. And I hope that in heaven, you're looking down on us and helping us through all of our troubled times, helping us get through every day, thinking about your smile makes me smile. Thinking about you laugh makes me want to cry. But I know one day we will see you again in heaven.
Hi, Robin, and everybody else who probably doesn't know who I am. My name is Kat. I live in East Tennessee. I moved from St. Angelo 7.5 years ago. Robin and the kids left there just within 2 months of us having left. I've known Robin and the kids for 16 years. I knew when I first met Robin and she told me about her kids. I have 3 kids, just opposite, 2 girls and a boy. My kids are older, so a lot of my experiences sometimes would help her, and she'd walk me right down memory lane, and strange parallels of even though me having 2 girls and then my youngest being a boy, my middle one is in the Army. Just like, hers, Alex. I got to know her kids before getting to know her kids, just how much she would describe them, or they'd be in the background when we'd be on the phone, because we would chat, probably more than a couple times a week during the day when we were at work. We each would work primarily alone, so we would have, time. And it was just great. And come to find out that we lived 2 blocks apart. So I get to see the kids, and the one I remember the most meeting really truly was Megan, because that was her name. She told me that beforehand, but I did not believe her. Not like I should have, because it blew me away. She's just the sweetest little thing, and she remains sweet. And the last time I spoke with her, still a sweetheart. So worried about the animals. Not doing well with things that had transpired with Mitchell. The time before that I spoke with her was during the hurricane in Galveston, and Robin was in the hospital. I think she'd sent me a video, or Robin did, because the kids were starting to get worried about losing their battery for the phones because there was no power. But the water was starting to lap right in the front door, and they were scared, and Mitch wouldn't leave her, and she wouldn't leave the animals, and her love for little bunnies and kitties, and I remember Callie, the killer chihuahuas that she obviously had no fear of, but boy, they wanted to take my ankles out, because I smelled like big dogs, and a bunch of cats. I still have a bunch of cats, but I think I smelled like critters, those little monsters. They really wanted to kill me. I just think she was this thing, and it breaks my heart that her heart couldn't heal over his loss. But it's a testament to how sweet her heart was and how easily broken. Even though I tried to tell her, and he was still always with her, even when he wasn't. I know they're together now, and I know they're watching over Robin and Alex. And that's somehow, I'm sorry, I'm trying to not frighten myself and even scare myself. I keep angling off because I also don't want to start smearing mascara on like Tammy Faye. I
just hope everyone will help support Robin and help her to see the signs of a rainbow or a cardinal or a bunny, because I have a feeling that a bunny is going to be Megan's way of saying hi to Mom. And swore that I'd be free. And whenever you need an ear, day or night, my phone is always on for you. Please, everyone, help her. Help Alex. He's a sweet guy. He's gonna need it, even if he tries to put on a bright face. He can't be an army of one. He's gonna need I all Todd's, they're all worried, Mom's crying. There's and there's waffles because he's sitting in my bedroom. So I had to go make dinner because, like I said, I just got home from work. Take care.
Hi, my name is Hannah Miller, and a lot of you might know me as Megan's childhood best friend. Me and Megan, we grew up together as neighbors in San Angelo, Texas, and she was my best friend and I was hers. I spent countless birthdays with her and her family, and also holidays, and I remember some holidays we would make cookies and decorate them with sprinkles, and Robin would light the fireplace and we would lay by the fireplace. And those are just some of the memories that I have with her. And we had so much fun growing up, and it was the typical childhood with sidewalk chalk and ice cream trucks and sprinklers, and just being kids. And I remember we would even watch Twilight together, and I was Team Jacob and she was Team Edward, and so we would never get into fights over boys, and it was the perfect duo. She was also the one that brought me towards Jesus, though. She took me to Pauline, and we would go to the Wednesday and Sunday services, and Megan and I would read her Bible, and she would tell me what she learned from the scripture and what she interpreted it as. And I still remember the Bible. The Bible was a leather Bible, and it had horses on the front. And that's just so Megan. She loved horses, and she was definitely a horse girl. But she helped me more than she could have ever imagined. And I look back on the chapters of my life with so much light and so much joy. She was the bestest friend I could have asked for, a sweet, loving soul that had a devotion for Jesus and for a love for animals. These past few weeks have been hard for all of us, but I'm glad to look back on Megan's life with only positivity, love,